Good evening. Once again, this is Quincy Leroy here at Full Sail, working on my master's degree program in business intelligence. This is our week 4 assignment of the business intelligence analysis class. Oh, here we go. Um, so we were here on this assignment were to see if we can come up with a problem find a problem that the company might be having. And so I went with the company that I work for, which is also my capstone project. Um, the problem with us expanding and not being able to keep employees on our other half, because I work in the clinical engineering half, but in our asset management team, we're losing employees. So um, as you see back in 2021, quarter three, we had 47 techs. Out of those 47 techs, we had 12 new techs and 35 senior techs. Uh, Same thing, quarter 21, the fourth quarter, we had 13 new techs and 34 senior techs. And then by the time we got to 2022, we started losing people um, just for different things. People were saying that, they don't feel any value in their job, or they're saying it's too much work for them. So, and then as we go down, we went from 44 to 36. Um, with 11 new techs and 25 senior techs. To the end of 20, we went down to 26. At the end of last year, we were down to 18 techs, and now we're down to 13 techs on our asset management team. So the question, I guess one of the big things here will be, we had 8 senior techs and 5 new techs. We had almost half and half of the shop. Um, so with that, we had to come up with how are we going to cover the differences in this area, because we have about 50. We have room for work for 50 techs, and if you have 50 techs, that's 2,000 man hours a week with 50 techs. So you see, as you see, 2021 and the first quarter, the actual cost for 50 techs at 2,000 work week is 36,600, and that's just going off the average of between the hospital service tech pay, which is $18.30. So 1830 times 2,000, you get to 36,600. And you see, we came real close when we was in 2020. 21 third quarter. So the actual spending, because we only have 47 techs. We have 47 techs. So each tech had to work maybe about 2 hours overtime to try to keep up with the needs of a 50 personnel work week, which is 2,000 hours. So with overtime for those 47 techs working a little bit overtime, the actual work rate here was $37,698. So we went over the average by like about 1,000. But if we were to at the same time fly out techs, so the orange one is here for flying out techs. If we had to fly techs in, we got to charge for their hotels, we got to charge for their flights, their food per day. So if we would have flew them out, there's another $1,000 extra for flying out 3 techs, because we want to make it up to 50, and we only have 47. And as you see, when we start losing techs, those numbers started to go higher. So we started to lose techs. When we were at 44 techs, we had to get 6 techs to come out. So as you start to get the higher number, it started to become cheaper to get the techs to fly out than to have all these techs work overtime, because when they get overtime, they're getting time and a half. So if we have 6 techs come out, they'll have to work all that overtime, and the money will have to get caught up here. And yeah, you see how much more difference that is 41,000 over 40,000. So it'd be cheaper at this point to fly techs out than having the guys work overtime to try to catch up. Plus, it'd be more beneficial for the employees, because you don't want to overwork your employees to the point where we come down to a point where we're losing employees like we did here. All right, so just a little bit about agility, the forecast analysis, which you're just talking about. And here's the report. So these are quarters. This is 21. This 2021, the third quarter, 2021, fourth quarter. This all 2022, the quarters, and 23. All right. So you see, as more people we had, more and technicians we had, the less the overcost was. So this pink line right here is the cost of if we had to fly technicians out, including their hotel and their per diem for food per day and in the airfare. So when we have 13 techs and we need to try to make up a 50-hour work week, we fly out that many techs to cover that. We end up spending $24,000 versus if we were trying to get our core group of 13 to work and catch up with 50. That's a lot of overtime money right there. So this is not what we want. This line trending down here. I mean, this is doable. 20 grand is depending on how much your company operates off of. 20 grand is way better than 144 grand. So flying techs in and out to help in and relieve on your tech that's already there. So what's the solution to this? There's a risk trying to take this. We want to keep our customers, we want to keep our employees happy. So, and the couple things that Agility can do to try to improve their retention. And one thing is they can appeal to the millennials and Gen Z workers. To do that, Agility is show employees the value of their work. Today's employee career decisions are influenced by more than just value of work. Or more than just the value of pay, is more about the value of work. Other things Agility can do is implement a 4-day work week, 4-day, 10-hour work week. So what's the risk? We're implementing a 4-day, 10-hour work week. Some people will be happy about it. Some might not be happy about it. So you got a chance that you might keep some. Some might walk off. But you essentially giving them 3 more days. You give them 3 days off versus 2 days off, which is usually on a weekend. You give them an extra day off on a weekday to actually take care of doctor's appointments and everything. So that's good. And then hire more employees and start filling work shifts. So once we decide when we're going to start doing this, we got hired employees. And when we hire employees, they already have in their mind that they're coming in to work 4-day work weeks with 10 hours a day. You need to monitor and train new employees. Once you get new employees, you got to train them and monitor them. Make sure see how the system's working, how they dealing with the 410s, how does the old employees that was already there, how they adapting to the 410s. Then you check on the senior employees, and you check on new employees, see how they value their work, see if they're getting any value or being self-fulfilled on their job. And then you monitor and reevaluate and make adjustments, and then you keep working around that circle. And you run into these risks of not getting it. When you're looking for hiring people, the risk is that you are going to deter people away when you tell them you got to work 10-hour work days. You can monitor new employees and just keep working that circle around until you get to the point. All right. So Denham's 14 points. W. Edwards Denham said 94% of the problems in business systems driven are from 6% of people are 94% business systems and 6% people driven. Agility attrition problem is more likely due to business processes. So here's the agenda: 14 points of management, which we kind of created and took and changed into our what we want to do. We want to implement the 4-day, 10-hour work week. Be committed to the change. No threats or what if? What if it doesn't work? No threats. If you don't commit, you might get fired. None of that. You want to start looking at evidence and change and morale in employees. You want to make sure that they're, are feeling better, and especially ones that's overworked. You want to get better tools, better processes for the employees. Continues to even out the workload by days, not stacking one day and light other days. You want to keep employees trained and educated. You want to educate them about changes. You want to keep them informed pretty much. You don't want them just to go with the flow type thing and not giving them any kind of details. Don't use fear-based tactics. Don't tell them, we'll fire you on this. You need to create growth opportunities. Like I said, every employee wants to know that they're doing something of value and they got somewhere to grow. Don't use cliche sayings like "this is the new norm." Don't get rid of numeral goals. We need to get 8 hours done a day, or we need to get 50 boxes done. Just get them in the groove of working and give them their best, and the numbers will come. Give employees a sense of worth and value. Encourage self-improvement and offer incentives for achievements, for like school. If they start to go to school, they get degrees. They learn different skills, and kind of give them incentives to do that. And continue to look for keep employees engaged. Continue to look and keep employees engaged and valued. So this is a report from Glassdoor. Some of the complaints that Agility has for that part of the service is turnover rate is too high, pay is horrendous, and of course management. And that's why they get supervisors engaged and helped out employees, get them involved. They do not respect the availability with schedule, completely overworked, poor management, and professionalism. What also we do the Six Sigma, the Lean Six Sigma. We'll identify improvement opportunities. We're going to introduce this 4-day 10-hour work week along with hiring new personnel. Plan for changes with personnel. Some to adapt to 10-hour days and some will not expect that. Hire new employees with the mindset coming in that there's a 4-day 10-hour work week. Split up the crew by seniority, assigning shifts. Get supervisors trained on the roll out of the new shifts. Get a couple of rotations in and reevaluate the crew and see if they still like the rotation. Check the workload, see if all the work is being completed. So identify, we plan for change, put together a team, make changes, and monitor and improve. So conclusion, with this whole tech blog, we looked at what Agility does. They provide clinical and service engineering service and asset management. Agility looked at to increase growing medical service market in India, a possibility of Agility moving into that market. There were 3 markets in India that Agility should consider. Agility had to make a decision how to expand their business. They had the choice of expanding in current building that they were in or buying a building. We went through all that research. It's best interest for them to stay local and expand the building that they're in versus paying a mortgage. So here's the references. Thank you guys once again.